I'm Commander Surface with Delta Security Solutions. I wanted to make another quick video on patrol on another slow night. Talk about, a couple things. First off, do you feel that all security companies that are doing apartments and, your basic areas, especially in, a lot of states, there's millions of people that conceal carry and have licenses to conceal carry. And everybody has a bad day, even the good people that, have the license, been through the background checks. And, we're out here alone on sites at night in the dark. And our insurance companies that we have for our, security covers being armed. And it also protects the clients on the properties from being sued as well. We're 100% liable if God forbid we have a discharge or there's, a deadly shooting or anything of that nature involved with any of our officers. And I believe that the terminology in the security industry alone, with that, being an issue, I don't understand if we're going to patrol in an apartment complex, for instance. And they said, well, why do your officers need to be armed? And my response is very simple. Everyone has a bad day, and every kitchen has at least 2 knives. And you want us to knock on a door for a domestic issue. They're already heated, they're already upset, they're already fighting with their girlfriend, their spouse, their kids, whatever the case is. Sometimes they lose their job and they're just losing their mind at that moment. And you want us to patrol with what? Do you want us to say, don't worry, sir, put the knife down, everything's going to be okay, and give me a hug? Or do you want our guys to be protected? Our insurance protects not just our company or our officers in general, but it protects all liabilities because we're a separate agency. We're a separate organization from the complex. We're not employed as a W-2 for an apartment complex or a storefront. We have our own agency and we have our own insurance. We're a separate entity. We pay our own taxes. We're not on their taxes. We're hired to do a job. And it's literally the same as if you go and you have a sheriff's department or city police in your complex parking up. There's no difference. The only difference is they have the right to transport them to jail and make an arrest. We only have the right to detain them until an officer comes and then transports them to jail. Other than that, especially, for instance, I live here in Florida, we have the same rights. We go through, not as much training, of course, but we have the same issues and we go through the same things. We get shot, we get stabbed, whatever the case is. And nonetheless, we deal with the same problems. And as I said on one of our other videos, we're the first responders before the first responders actually get on site, on property. We're calling them for backup because we're in the mess of things half the time, or we're responding to a call with little information or a pop-up on, a screen saying that there's a complaint made for loud noises or a domestic dispute or domestic violence issue at an apartment, which, we had one of those today. And, so all security companies, no matter what, should be armed. And we're going to get into the difference between a security guard and a security officer. There's 2 differences there. And in our next video, we're gonna talk a little bit, briefly about what the difference is, what the job duties are, and why an officer is different than just a security guard. But tell me what you guys think below. I do know that I've talked with, a couple guys, and I've watched videos from other people on YouTube making videos for their security companies, and I think people are finally starting to smarten up and say, you know what? I should have never accepted an unarmed site. You know, even for us, if they're saying that, okay, well, we don't want to pay extra for an armed officer to patrol our neighborhoods. You know, we want an unarmed officer because we're cheap as hell, and we don't want to pay you guys that. Well, even then, I would rather have a contract signed for the pay of an unarmed patrol officer, but they actually be armed. You know, we still do the job. We do a good job. We can go down the road and we can, you know, renegotiate as far as price goes. But when it comes down to it, guys, I mean, you're going to lose a contract because they only want unarmed, and they think that there's a difference in the price. For us, there's no difference. We literally price right in between what most companies overcharge armed officer, you know, patrols, and in between the lowest part, which would be an unarmed officer. And the only difference is a gun. I mean, and better protection. And I'm not going to put my guys out in the middle of a bad neighborhood because an apartment complex doesn't want to pay for armed officers because it's more money. I'll still get the contract. Even if I barely make a dime on that, I would rather barely make something, create more jobs, and still be able to pay the guys and come out with, you know, even if it's a few $100s a month profit. I would rather that happen and then, like I said, renegotiate down the road. So, you know, tell me what you guys think. If you have a security company out there that you own, you operate, or you work in, if you've done a, you know, a D license position and, you know, you transition to G, obviously you guys already know at that point, especially these companies, these big companies like, you know, that are out there, they don't care about you guys. You're just another body that fills a spot. And if you die on the site, well, poor thing, you know, it's all over the news. They get more media, they get more jobs. They don't care about your protection. And, you know, working for a small company, I mean, we look out for you guys. And that's the difference between a big company and a small company. But yeah, definitely, guys, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys, get to know you guys as well, and tell me what you think. I mean, should all officers, especially in residential areas or storefront areas, should those guys always be armed, in your opinion? I mean, in my opinion, you've already heard it. Yes. Every kitchen has a knife, and just alone in Florida, there's over 2 million people with a concealed weapons permit. That does not include, you know, the god-awful number of probably 1 million other people who are criminals or kids who have illegal firearms on them, or took one of their parents' firearms, even though their parents are concealed carry, you know, they have their permits, whatever the case is, they're legal, they're 100% legit. These kids go out and do something stupid to show their friends how cool they are, to be the next popular kid. Next minute you know, someone's getting hurt. And when there's a gun involved, what are you going to do? If we run away and we're not armed and all we have is OC spray and handcuffs, I mean, we can go to jail for not doing our job. It's literally a part of it. So they expect us to run in there with no backup, no gun, no protection. I mean, does that just doesn't make sense, right? But tell me what you guys think below. Thanks again for coming to the channel and watching one of our videos. You guys be safe out there.